Hi everyone, how is it going? I see people in the chat. Hi Gaming Skull, I recognize you from Discord. Hello, hello, hello. I see a lot of people. I watched the last stream. I think a lot of people were having fun. And now I'm here to go into a technical topic. How is it going? How's the Global Hack Week going for you all? You'll see me probably twice today for folks who are in the APAC region. For others, it will be 2 days apart, but okay. Amazing. I'm actually just sharing my screen right now. Global Hack Week is amazing. That sounds fun. I have had a great one, even though I have my exams going on, but I'm still streaming. So because, of course, it's a games week. I can't miss games for sure. So for people who are attending my stream for the first time, hi, I'm Deekshita Verma. I'm one of the coaches with Major League Hacking, and I am an AR, VR, and game developer. And I'm also a makeup artist. So, I'm not just a technical person, that's a fun fact about me. I am graduating this week. I mean, I just have one exam to go on Monday, and I'm done with college. So, I'm partially in between being a student and a professional now. Uh, I used to dislike Tetris, but after the last event, Arre? Okay. Where are you studying at? I am from Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University for Women. I pursued my BTech in Information Technology, and BTech ended so soon. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'll give a recap of what we were building in the past two streams. This is the third stream. This is going to be a continuation of it, and we've been building a game. So this will be the final conclusion one where I give a lot of idea about basics of a game. It's not like a complete game which you can take into production today, but it basically clears all the concepts of how to add different mechanisms, and then it's your creativity binding together and building the game to a production level project. Chandigarh University this side. That's amazing. Universities have the biggest names. Oh my god. So we have a short form, but every time someone does not know the short form, I just have to say Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University for Women, and it's a mouthful, but I'm so used to it. Thank you so much. I see a lot of congratulations. Need for speed, better watch out. Okay, so I will just show the game right now of how things were going. We did face an error in the last stream. Yesterday it was like so annoying. I took 1 hour to solve a error where I had by chance mentioned the function's name with a small o instead of a capital O. And it became so annoying. We took 1 hour to debug it during the stream, and I was thinking that I might have made an advanced issue. I tried to search Stack Overflow, Unity help everywhere, and in the end, I realized that it was just a problem of capital casing, and the speed increases with the car, but see that there is still a little bit of inconsistency. Like when the roads turn, my camera is kind of tilted now and it's not rotating with the car. So there is this one thing, there are no sound effects, there's no purpose of the game right now. All you do is when you collect these capsules, your speed increases. So in the last one we added one capsule, and okay, what GPU do you have? I am not sure. I mean, I'll have to check. uh are the trees procedurally generated? No, it's a terrain that I directly took from the asset store. I am not a 3D designer. Like that's the last thing I want to do. I don't have fun working on Blender. So I generally take assets from asset store, or I take some designer on board with me, collaborate with them, and create it. Hello, how's it going? So, currently, what's happening is when I pass through this capsule, my speed increases by 5. So, have like added 7 8 capsules at different route. Blender is fun. I mean, Blender can be fun. It's not something which I like. It's not my go-to thing. I'm not saying that Blender is not fun. Please don't come at me for it, or start canceling me about it. It's just something I don't like. That's pretty much it. I tried having fun on Blender. Now I have to buy a new goddamn laptop because that's what I tried. So I mostly like the part where I just have to put together things, decide on the design, and then work on the main coding portion of game development. Or I work in AR VR. So I mean, there's a lot of patience required when you work with Blender, and it's just kind of hard for me. I'm not that patient person when it comes to designing models. So Blender is so satisfying, lol, but it depends on if you like it. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, it is fun. Not gonna lie, I did have fun, but I am not very good with that kind of creative stuff. So I tried to create a human face. It ended up looking like a potato, and I was like, so not my cup of tea. I have a 1650 now, so Blender works amazingly. But oh my god, even for you, if I like, at one point I was using Unity, Blender, Spark Studio, and Premiere Pro in my device, and that was the worst thing that I could do to it. So I had to increase the RAM, and then there were a lot of issues. Then I got my laptop fixed. But yes, I faced those GPU issues. You probably need to at that point if it gets. Yeah. I was working on a project. I was so much in the zone I did not think about what I'll do to my laptop. So because I had like Nvidia 250 MX and that had games good, but then it tried because of Blender. I remember using Unity, and I had not restarted my laptop, so I switched off Unity, but it was still running in the backend, and I decided to open Valorant that day. It was not a good day for my laptop. So I have a lot of stories where I've kind of uh, destroyed things from my laptop, and I forgot to remove the banner for "We will begin in 5 minutes." Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is that we have the speed increasing, but the first thing is I want the camera to move along with the car. So this is the car asset that we have. um, if I move my camera inside this particular drop down, because the I am applying force on the major parent, and the parent is moving and rotating, all the assets inside it will rotate and move along with it. So I will simply save this script, and let's try to play it once again and see if it's. Yep, currently the rotation is not that smooth, but yes, it is moving along with the car, so that works fine. Now, since the movement and rotation will work with the car right now, what I'll simply do is that the script that we created of changing the rotation and everything, we don't need it at the moment. So I'll just go to the camera and I will remove this script. So if you want a coded version of it, let's say it's an endless runner, you don't have anything to do with rotation and stuff, you can use that particular code. Uh, Sorry, why it moves more to the left. So uh because my camera angle is set like that, and I immediately clicked on the left arrow key. If I do the right one, yeah, I think it's more abruptly moving towards the left for sure. So all we have to do is adjust the camera angle. We'll do that in a second, but now as soon as I keep collecting my capsules, the speed increases, and it's increased a lot at this point. Now I added capsules only to till that portion. There's a very very long road. I just added 5 capsules in like 5 minutes to just uh make it look feasible enough. So what's happening right now is that the car is moving fine. We have a great terrain. It might be lagging on stream a bit, but for my device it works really well. It literally sounds like, "Hi, it works well on my device. Can you please check for yours?" Like the local and the global version. But anyway, this is working great. The terrain is set up. I can add as many elements as possible. So I am going to add one more feature which will teach you how to work with UI. What we're simply going to do is I'll exit the play mode. Now let's have lives in this one. Okay. So, what we'll do is I will add a new asset. Again, I'm going to the Unity asset store because I am not a Blender person. Doesn't mean you can't be. It's just something I don't prefer to be. So I have these road props which can be used as different barriers inside the game. So now I am going to install them. I will include one of them in the pathway and show what that will do, and you'll just get the gist of it. So we can add that later in the game. So I'm just gonna accept the terms and license agreement. Now again, whenever I work on projects, most of them are either for courses or if it's a personal project, I generally avoid creating my own asset because I mean that's just something for practice. I see a comment. Deekshita has now become extremely scared of getting blender cancer. Thank you. Uh, no, I think I expressed my feelings very strongly for it, but whenever I work on independent projects, I generally take assets from the asset store directly because it's just something I want to show in my portfolio. Because I don't take up projects where I create my own models. So I have installed, I've downloaded it and I opened it in Unity, right? So it might be loading up right now. It's something called as road props. So we'll just fetch these packages. Now, feel free to ask me questions if you have, because we've been doing this since the past 2 streams. So I've already explained package managers and how do we go about it beforehand. But in case you have any question, feel free to ask me or stop me in between. I'm happy to answer that. Yep, here's the road prop. So we are going to download it and import it in our game. Now I have are we going to implement an acceleration based system? We can do that, but again, since this will be the last stream, I have certain ideas like adding an audio source and explaining collisions and working on UI, which will take up almost 2 hours. So I want to include the basics first, and that is something which people can learn and explore later. Like acceleration is just going to be certain piece of code. It's not going to be that difficult. Past streams are available on YouTube and Twitch, folks on demand. Yes, thank you for answering that. So we have imported the asset. Now this particular folder, road props, has a lot of props, and it has certain prefabs or scenes already set up for you. All I'm going to do is probably take this barrel, or should I take a fence? Yeah, let's take this fence. And okay, add it somewhere here in the scene, somewhere at this portion. I'll just edit where it goes later on, but I've added it to the scene. I will click on fence, press the F key at my scene view, and it will zoom me over to it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is probably move it a little forward. It does not auto. Okay, so I'll just show the question also. Does it auto add collision like in scene kit? No, it does not. We will be implementing the collisions part. Actually, collision was something where I messed up in the last stream. So there is this function where like it auto detects it, but we have to add a code for it. So there's this function called on trigger enter, and the on trigger enter has an O capital, and I was writing a small o, which wasn't actually a syntax error. So I thought that things are going well, but that was a major, major mess up. I will just turn this to 90 degrees and probably move the fence somewhere over here. Shift probably a little forward, and I think that looks okay for now. So this is one of the barriers that we have. Now, first thing, I will have to give it a tag. We created a tag in the last stream. I'm going to create another tag and call it fence. Save it. Now, for our car, let's say we have 3 lives. So I am going to create a private integer variable and give it the name lives equals 3. Now, let us make it static actually, because this is one variable which can be used by a lot of classes and we want it to be common. So why did I make it static is something I'll explain in a couple of minutes. But we've added static int lives with us now. Okay. No errors so far. Everything looks good. I'll go back to VS Code. Um, Now we will add a function. This time I will take care of the naming. The private void on collision enter. Reminds me of the horror I did yesterday. Collider and name it other. So I will add a print statement just to make sure that I am writing the correct function. Otherwise, we'll have the same spiral that we did yesterday. So I will print collision detector, and over here I will also add a check. So if the object that I've just collided with, the minute I entered a collision with an object, I'll check if that particular game object has the tag double equal to fence. If it does, lives minus equals to 1. Yeah, I am okay with that. Like, people are bound to make mistakes, but it was kind of annoying because I think because this is the first time I'm using VS Code with Unity, my Visual Studio, which has the corrections and all the Unity extensions added, wasn't working. So we decided to work on VS Code, and I was so confident that, I mean, I've been coding for a while, so I don't think using VS Code would be an issue for me. But I did that one mistake, which Visual Studio would have detected in 1 second if the extensions were installed. So that's something I'm kind of beating myself for, but that's okay. Um okay, we'll go to the files over here. And we have added a function, but we created the tag. We haven't added the tag to the fence right now. So I'll go to on collision. The message parameter has to be of the type collision. Okay, do we have collision in on collision enter? Let's see. I've saved it. Go back to Unity. Wait for it to load. Yeah, the error is sorted. Great. So I'll go to the fence now. Now here are the tags. I'll give it the fence tag. And we have a collider. Just to be sure, we'll check if the collider works fine. Yeah, I think it's good to go. So we'll save it, play again, and see if it works now. Okay, the collider fell down. Amazing. I think the collision is getting detected several times. So I do want to show the lives with me. I'll just remove the maximize on play first. Go to my car model. Let's see if we can show the number of lives we have. By making it a serialized field. I think serialized field does not have space in between, but we'll get an error if we have to. I don't see the lives here, so I think that does not work on static variables. Nope. We'll just remove this one. Now comes the part where we will add UI and see lives, how lives work. But before I do that, let me just stop the fence from falling down. So we'll remove gravity from the fence. What do you do apart from game dev? Also, are you using OBS? Cursor trails are so annoying. Uh, so, first of all, I am about to join Google as a software engineer. I mean, I will be joining this summer, probably in July. Amazing. We have the fence moving up in the air. That's great. So yeah, about that, I'll be joining Google as a software engineer this summer. Apart from that, I am a makeup artist, so I am not just a tech person. I also work in the creative field. I create videos for different brands. If you are talking about the dev experience, I know web dev, ML, uh, Android, and other stuff. So I think I've worked in almost every domain. Are you using OBS? I don't think I'm using OBS. Uh, it's just a normal StreamYard share, but I think the lag is because I'm using Unity and working with StreamYard together. So that is probably giving the cursor trail. Okay, so let's cancel. Let's go to the fence. I'll freeze all the positions for fence so that it doesn't bounce away. And when you crash with the fence once, what I want is the fence to be destroyed. So what we'll do is we'll reduce the life and destroy the fence. Right now we have lives minus equal to 1. And now what we'll do is I think it's destroy, it works like this, other dot game object. Let's see if that works. So basically it will destroy the fence from the scene at that moment, because like once you've clashed, you've reduced one life, but we don't want the player to get stuck right there, so we will destroy this element after having a crash. Yep, that's working fine. Now we are going to add UI. Now it's not going to be the most beautiful UI, because I'm just giving it as an example over here. It takes me a while to get the UI right, but I absolutely love working with it. All I think we have to press Alt and the Shift key, and then pivot this text element to the top right corner, because that's where I want to show it. I'll keep the ratio to be 16 is to 9. Yeah. And right over here in the text, we'll say lives equals 3 at the moment. This is kind of like the placeholder text that I've kept for now. Let's edit this text a bit. Give it overflows, increase the size of the text to probably 40. Um, since we have a gloomy background, I think even white color for the text would work. So let's make it white. Yeah, it looks better. Uh, I will just navigate to the text, to the UI layer that we have. Now, this right here you see is a canvas. um, you can see the canvas will be two dimensional, because this is something where we are putting all the placeholders UI, and the UI will remain as it is, based like no matter where your camera moves. This is going to be the first layer that appears over your game objects, just like any other project that you work on. So I'll simply move the position of the text a bit, somewhere around here. I think it works for now. I'll do the size 35, and see if we can make it bold, or yeah. So this is the basic UI that we have right now. Now, whenever we need to edit any UI element, we'll simply add another namespace, Unity Engine dot UI. So every time my lives get reduced, what we'll do is we will take a reference to text, public text, lives. Um, just let's name it text for now, because otherwise we have two lives and it will create a confusion. Now, inside the text, if you see, let's wait for it to load. It will give an error for now because we haven't completed our script, but that's okay. Inside the text, there's another element called text which you are changing. So we'll simply do text dot capital text equals to lives plus, I think if we do char, that'll work. Not sure if that's supposed to work. Let's see if it does. No, the char thing won't work over here. I think it's still refreshing. Okay, I don't know what's the issue, but what we'll do is we'll just go to live. Since it's an integer, we have to convert it to string. So there should be a toString function which will work, I hope. Save it, go back to Unity, wait for it to refresh. Let's clear it out. There's still some issue. Text does not contain a definition for text, and no accessible method text. Okay, so we have two errors right now. What we'll do is see if we are writing it correctly. First of all, the definition inside text is with a small t. I'm checking the cases first, and for toString, it's capital T. Okay, let's go back to the StreamYard screen so that I can see. Don't you need Text Mesh Pro? Not necessarily. You can use a normal text as well. I've been using normal text for a while. In the newer versions of Unity, Text Mesh Pro is something which is used. It's 2019 version. Initially, Text or Mesh Pro, both of them worked, and I used to use the normal text that time. So, okay, we haven't set a reference to our text element. Let's go back to the car model. We have an empty text. We will move this particular text over to here. I think this is the first time someone might have said text in a single sentence so many times. Uh, yeah, so as soon as I collided, we have two lives now. Amazing. And the speed is increasing as soon as I collide with the capsules. Um, the game, however, is lagging. I think that's probably a PC issue because I'm using Unity and StreamYard at the same time, and the speed is increasing. Could you show the code again? Of course, I'll do that. Just give me one moment, and this is working fine. So our lives are reducing. We will also add one function over there. Let me know which code do you want to see for the player movement or for the text one. Um, for text one, what I've simply done is reduced the number of lives. Brilliance at its peak. Thank you. So basically, lives will reduce as soon as you the text one dot to string. Amazing. So any integer, float, or any value, if you want to show it in UI, just convert it to string, and that will be good to go. Okay. Now let's add one more feature. Like this is not something which we'll be working on today, but I'll add a check if my lives are double equal to 0 now. I am just printing game over. What you can do is just redirect from the scene or start the game again. You know what? Let's start the scene again. So what we'll do is there's another thing that I'll tell you today. There's something called as scene manager. Let me check the namespace in the documentation once because I don't have uh, auto suggestions switched on. So this is the documentation. Now, that's actually one of the great examples that you don't have to learn everything inside Unity or coding. You just need to know what you want to change at that particular point and just go with it. So what we are going to do is this is the namespace called Unity Engine.Scene Management. We'll use this one. There's this one function called load scene. It loads the scene whichever you give it as an input. And what we're going to check is we're going to take the current active scene and load it again, which means we are restarting the game again. So, what I'll simply do is uh, let me add the namespace Unity engine dot scene management. I think I need to uh, take a variable for a scene manager. Let me go back to the documentation once. Go to load scene. When you click on these functions, you also get their examples. My favorite thing to work with is actually the Unity documentation. It's so well written and it's just very, very fun to deep dive into. So there is something called as load scene. You just give it the current scene name or the build index and just load it. So what I'll do is, I know my current scene name is game, so I will simply say scene. I think I have to declare a scene manager before that. Let's check the example. I think that's what we were doing, and then I got distracted. Of course. So, no, you don't have to declare one. You just have to say scene manager dot load scene and give it the scene name. So, we'll do scene manager dot, or my current scene also. I will press like write 0 because that's the current build index. Once you do that, let me go to, let's just wait for it to load. File, build settings, and add the open scene. So the current build index for this scene is 0. We want to reload this scene. So what I'll do is I will duplicate the fence, add 3 of them back to back just to show if this scene reloads again. Duplicate it. Let's press fence 1, click on F, take it a little backwards. Again, pressing F to see if it's on the right position. Yep. Let's click on fence 2, press F, take it a little forward. So we have 3 fence back to back. And by the end of it, our game should restart. Sounds good? Let's play it again. I see a comment. Just give me one moment. Let's see if this one works. Lives 2, 1, 0. Game restarts. Now it restarted at the very second. When we make the experience better, we add probably a start scene, it will work fine. But 3, 2, 1, and your game. Okay, now the current life count became -3. We have to change that. So what we'll do is we will make lives equal to 3 before we reload the scene, because it's a static variable. So once an old value has been set, it will not change unless we do it, because static variables can be used across various scenes and at multiple times. Play it again, wait for it to load. You could do Windows X Device Manager display adapters to see what GPU you have. Also, I can troubleshoot any. Sure, I'll do that and I'll check what GPU do I have. Uh, does the render distance say the same or does it? Okay, you answered your own question. We see Doda replying. You do realize the question answer works two ways. Okay, so I think the game started playing. 3, 2, 1, 0. The game restarted. 3, 2, 1, 0. So it's working fine. 3 lives and the game restarts, and we might fall, but okay. Amazing. I totally know, but I typed it. I'm not interfering in the conversation that you're having, folks. But this part is working. So we have something which increases the speed. It's a booster. We have barriers which are reducing lives, and after 3 lives, the game restarts. We also have a UI element for lives. All we have to do is add more beautification to it. But one of the key elements inside any game is its music. So we are going to search certain music and add it to the game. Let's see if I've never searched for audio in Asset Store. Do we find that? Let's see if we have free versions of any audio and add that to our project. Let's keep it light in the chat, folks. We shouldn't be presuming anything and just have fun, casual conversations. So we have certain background musics and tracks. Let's just take this casual game background music. Should I play it and check how does it sound or just add it to show how that works? Let's try to play the sound. Okay. Let me reduce the volume a bit. I mean, not something which will work with our car theme. Let's search for car background music and see if we find anything over there. Just click on car audio and find free assets, of course. Hi, I see new folks joining in. Hi, Dev Abdul Rahman. I see you twice on my stream now. How's it going? Um, hello, hello. So we are basically finding audios for our car now to add a good background music. Yes, we can find vehicle audios. Why did I never use the Unity's asset store for audios? Now I'm confused. Okay, let's wait for it to load, see how it sounds. Is it something that we want to add? This is literally opening car doors or something. Not the kind of vehicle sound that I wanted. We'll go back, try to find another one. Can you hear the car audio when I play it? I'm not sure if you can. I came from a web dev background and I work mostly on JavaScript and Node.js. And if I wanted to switch to game dev, how can I learn? That's a great question. I use Unity's asset store. You couldn't hear the sound. I think that's because I'm sharing my screen. Let me go to Unity's. Did I say asset store? No, I meant learn.unity.com. I think we've been using too much of asset store in today's stream, so it might have slipped. But there is a beginner's guide to learning C Sharp for Unity inside this learn.unity.com. And there are a lot of game tutorials as well, which can be amazing. So let's search. I think I know what the tutorial is. It's something beginner scripting. Yep. So it's a 2 hour 45-minute course of learning C Sharp scripting for Unity. And if you already know a coding language, you'll be good to go with it. So I will just share this in the chat so that you can learn how to begin scripting in Unity. All right. No, couldn't. I think because I was sharing the entire screen, you couldn't hear the audio. Uh, is Unity the best for creating games? I wouldn't comment on that specifically. A lot of people have different engines that they use. A lot of folks use Unreal Engine as well. For me, I felt like Unity was very versatile and it was the first gaming engine I started working with. And I till the time being I got used to it, I think it became like my comfort zone. So I haven't tried any other gaming engine because when I work with AR VR, I've been trying different libraries. I try all of those libraries inside Unity. I can create games with it. I can create AR VR apps with it. I can make Xbox games with it. So it's something which is very versatile for my use case. Um, so I stick with it. But you can definitely use other engines. Yep, gaming skull answer did not necessarily. You can use so many other engines, but Unity is easy to learn. For sure, Unity is like versatile and easy. created games and I've been doing that using JS, but I was not able to make things that could be more realistic. I think since you already know Dev, learning Unity will be easy, and scripting is very, very simple. The beginner scripting guide link that I just sent is actually a part of a major module which has a small game tutorial along with scripting. So once you do that, you get the basics of Unity with that particular tutorial in general. I'm just listening to the audio. I'm not sure if you all can, but it's definitely not a fun one. Uh, Let me see another engine sound, which might sound better than this one. Click on free assets. You know what? I don't want FX sounds in general. Normal music background would also work for now, just to show how music works. Let's pick this one. Let's not be picky. I heard a sound but not sure what it was. Something manipulate. Okay, wait. I have been using a mic with noise cancellation. That's why you're not able to hear the sound. Amazing. Okay, I think there is a small, tiny bit of lag. What I'll do is I won't even listen to this music. I'll just add it to my assets and open and install it. Just add a background sound to show how background sounds work. It's not about which one would suit here right now. It's more on what do you want to show. We'll just download this asset and import it inside a game. Hey, how's it going? Um, I can't pronounce your name. I'm not sure how do I spell it, but hi, how's it going? uh, we're just installing the music for the game, and then we'll add it in the background. Let me find a crash FX sound. Definitely has to be. It does not have to be VFX. It has to be an audio. Um, Caped Baldy. It was CAQED. So I was like, do I know how to pronounce it? Do I don't know how to pronounce it? I just don't wanna mess it up. So like, let's go with not mentioning it. So I'll click on free assets and it's hard crash. Let's see if we find a good audio. We are importing the sound package for now. And so I have a feeling that this audio package is not gonna work and it might cause the game to crash. It took me 1 hour for me to get a good username. My username on Twitch is very simple. It's Deekshita V. That's it. I didn't go creative with my name as you folks do. So I will just import this music. Okay, for now we'll use this grenade sound when we crash with the fences. Not the best idea, I know, but let's try to hear the explosive sound of that. No, I think these sounds are very much explosive, not how our car would crash. I'll just search for a normal car crash audio. Think we can directly download from YouTube as well. I don't know if you all can hear it, but this one sounds fine. uh, I just want a simple smash. Yeah, this one works. So I have to edit it a bit. It's like a 15-second long audio. Yep, we have it, folks. We've just used there's something called as MP3 cutter, I guess. We'll just cut this audio. Go back to Unity. This audio assets are still important. Meanwhile, head back to the tab and use the audio cutter. Open the file. I just, drag and drop it here. That's it. That's the crash sound that I need. Save it and install it. Move it to Unity. I think we can't because Unity is installing another set of audios. Let's have it import this one and then we'll add the crash sound. Yep, we have the audios imported. I'll go to my Chrome browser again, take the crash sound, move it to Unity. Now we have this one sound which is for crash, which will be played when we have that collision check. So let's find where did we have that collision check? Was it on the car model or was it on the fence? Let's go to this script. If you see inside the player moment, we had the check for collision. So I will simply add another variable called as public audio source. Should be audio source crash. Let me just check at the if it's audio source or not. Documentation. We have audio source inside Unity. Yes, we declare it as audio source and we will play it simply. So we'll go back to Unity, go to the script. We have the crash sound. All we have to do is, when this is detected, crash dot play. This should work. Let's go back to our Unity project. Let it load. It's refreshing right now. So we have there's this component which is asking for an audio source. What we'll do is I'll drag and drop this audio source over here. We will not have play on awake activated. All I have to do is drag and drop this audio source over here. So whenever I crash with my fence and audio should play, this has mute audio activated right now. I don't know if you all can hear the crash sound. So what I'll do is I'll just disconnect my mic for a second. I think this one's the mic. Is it? Let me check. Just let me know if you all can hear me. I've disconnected my mic, and I will try to play and see if you all can hear the audio. Yeah, there's a noise, but I'll just play the game, show you how it works, and then connect my mic again. Yeah, I think I disconnected my keyboard also. This is the same one. Um, were you able to hear the crash sound? So the moment we okay, amazing. I'll plug in the mic again so that there's no background. Let okay. Okay, I think the noise, the background noise is gone now. There's construction going on next to my house, so I had to obviously plug in a mic because there's a lot of background noise right now. Amazing. So we have the crash sound working. Now I'll also add another audio which will be like a background music for the entire game. It's like Optimus Prime transforming but with less FP. Okay, so I'll simply go to road no, okay, not road props. Here are the music tracks. There is one track called Street Love, and what I'll do is I'll so when we add a background music, we add it to a particular game object which we know will stay the entire time inside a scene. So I do know that my main camera is going to be there forever because it's a camera. Without that, the game does not work. So I generally add my background music to my main camera. You can also add a dummy empty object that we talked about last time. You can create an empty object which is just, um, let's say, a static handle for different things that you want to add. So I'll actually create an empty object, name it as my audio manager. It just keeps all my audios with it. Drag Street Love, drop it over here, and my PC is lagging again. Okay. I'll obviously reset the transform. That's just something I do. So currently, play on awake is activated, and that's what actually we need because we want that as soon as the game starts, it should be playing. We don't have to activate, or we don't have to use the dot play function that we just did in the script. So play on way awake is activated. And what we're going to do is we'll also click on loop function. So what it will do is, like, let's say the audio ends after 15 seconds, but it's something which I want to play on loop because it's going to be a game. I don't know how long will the player have it on with them, but we want the background music to keep playing or restart whenever it ends. So now we have the audio clip activated. I'll save it. Now again, when I play the game, you all won't be able to hear the audio. If you want, I can disconnect my mic and make you hear it again. So just give me 1 second. I'll disconnect the mic once again. Let's see. Did I disconnect my mic or did I disconnect my keyboard? I think I disconnected my keyboard. And the game looks good for now. So we have a car which has some booster capsules. Whenever it clashes with the capsule, the speed increases by 5. There are certain barriers. After you lose your 3 lives, the game restarts again. We know how to work with UI now, and we know how to manage audios. So that's the basic of actually building a game. We'll be adding more features now because we have an hour of stream left. I thought it will take the entire stream, but we've got some time left, so we can definitely chit chat more about Unity, talk into more basics if we want. If you want me to implement something very specific, we can try and explore that together. So we have certain questions in the chat. I'll first answer that. Probably take a 3 to 4 minutes break because I've been speaking for the past 1 hour, and then we'll figure out what we want to do next. Uh, Hello, Deekshita. What are your specializations? Hi. So, I am a final year student, soon to be graduate. Actually, graduating in 2 days from BTech in Information Technology. I am an upcoming software engineer at Google. If you were talking about what I specialize in generally, I'm a game developer and an AR/VR developer. Game development is just something I learned during the course of AR/VR, and I built AR/VR games actually. I love working in Unity. I am also familiar with ML, WebDev, Android. I will be probably be in the Android team in Google. The team is still not decided yet, but that's where I interned, so I'm hoping I might join that again. And I think that's pretty much it. If you want to know more, I can do that. I talk a lot. I love doing that. I love talking about myself, so I'm happy to do that. Hello, MLS community members and audience attendees. How are you today? Amazing. How are you doing? Uh, where we are arrived with Unity video game project app. Can you give us an overview to the current point? I think I did that. If you want me to talk more about in detail, I'm happy to do that as well. Um, okay, I think it's the same question. So yeah, let me know if you have any specific questions. I actually gave an overview in the end of what all we have implemented. Are you open to questions regarding career guidance on Discord DM? I think my Discord DMs are actually inactive right now, because I get a lot of DMs from the FPHs, so that's not something I'm open to. But I do have a Telegram community where I talk to folks a lot. So I think I can share the link for that. Let me just try to navigate that link and share it with you. We do take up a lot of career guidance questions, and just in general I talk to folks a lot over there because I am not someone who is active at my DMs that often. So it's just a way of me giving back to the community. I have a Telegram community active where I talk with folks a lot. uh, I'll also love to know more. uh, what do I tell? So yeah, I basically am into software engineering, and I'm also a very fun and creative person. I'm a makeup artist on the side, so I create videos for brands, and I love working in IoT. It's something which has I have a soft spot for. And obviously my major favorite part is building games. So I was very excited when the games week was announced for MLS. I was like, this is my week because I'll definitely take up 3 or 4 technical streams and build games. So yeah, that's probably it. I mean, it's a stream, so I don't want to blabber a lot. A walking cyborg. Okay, so yeah, the I'm actually waiting for WhatsApp to switch on so that I can find the link to the Telegram community and share it over here. But I think it's lagging a bit. Okay, let's see. I think I shared the Telegram community link on Twitter as well. I can find it from there. Things I do to find links. Wow. Feel free to keep asking questions in between. I'm just taking a break for 3 5 minutes from game development and answer questions because I've been doing that for the last 1 hour. Yeah, I found the link to the Telegram community. Amazing. Uh, Here's it for you all if you want to join. Your college. I am from Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University for Women. IGDTOW Delhi. Since when have you been coding? I've been coding since my 11th grade. That's when I started coding in C++. My teacher actually realized the fact that I'm very good with coding concepts and I have fun in it. So she started making me do Code Chef, and we also went for IoT workshops when I was in my 12th grade. So I know IoT since then, and that's why I have a soft spot for it. But if we talk about major like proper development and stuff, I did that in my first year. Like I started from there. Yeah, these are the questions I had to ask. Okay, I hope I've answered that, but feel free to join the Telegram community and interact. Folks are very welcoming over there, and I do make sure that I hop in at least once a day and check in on people. Okay, so let's actually make it a little more clean. We'll make a game object called the fence parent, like we had a booster parent. Save it, and then drag all the fences inside the fence parent so that this looks neat. Now, even if we have so many elements inside our scene, this is how the hierarchy looks like. So it's very neat. I was such a fan of GTA, but I stopped playing it. I tried playing Valorant in lockdown, but I was so engrossed in building games, and I've been in a lot of activities, so I didn't get my hands like dug into it very clean. But I do enjoy sitting on Discord while my friends are playing games and I'm working on something. I know how Valorant works very well, but I haven't played it very well. Okay, so that's the thing that you do to make probably your code look clean. We'll move the directional light over here. Now if we talk about the basics of games, when you switch off the directional light, the scene becomes dark. So let's say we want a game which moves from day to night. Directional light is going to act like sun. Day just bring the daytime light. It looks like a pleasant evening right now, gloomy evening actually. So if I switch on the directional light again, it looks to daytime. I mean, you know that, like, I hope you understand if that makes sense. There are a lot of lights. If you want to add, if you want to add a specific spotlight, a specific point, light a particular area, this is where you play with. I was addicted to gaming all my life. Only recently was I able to realize that. I was such a fan of Vice City when I was in school. I had to play it once a day. Like, I had this neighbor who got a CD of the game, and then I installed it in my computer. And I used to finish my homework so fast because I wanted to play Vice City at least once a day. So that was my go-to game for sure. I think I do remember the dialogues. If you play the game again in front of me, I would know exactly which character is going to say what and how the scene is going to play, and I remember the map by heart till date. So that's how much big fan I was of Vice City. I was so used to that game. Let's move the fences a bit. So basically, currently, what we have is inside the game that only a very particular portion of this scene has the obstacles. You have to include that at several parts of the road, and then probably make it more effective, add a menu scene, and a game over scene if you want. Add more audio effects, add more VFX, probably add more car options. So this is like a basic structure of the game which is ready. Now all we have to do is make small tweaks in it, keep adding redundant things, keep making it dynamic, and in the end it will be like a full fledged game ready for you that you can take up to production. This being the reason I wanted advice. I think it's not just about addicted to gaming, it's about a lot of things. For me, I realized that I have goals and I need self discipline. So I do maintain that, like, I am so used to getting addicted to things. If I watch a series, I'll binge watch it. If I am reading a book, I'll read it for 5, 6 hours. So you have to create those specific timelines, specific barriers, and just work on your schedule. I go by my to do list, like, I cannot deflect from it. That's how addicted I am to a to do list. So it's just, things that you have to, like, put barriers to. So I think I did that when I was in 11th. Before that, I was actually into sports, so I wasn't a fan of academics. um, it's just that I had a sharp mind from the very beginning, so when I used to hear something in classes, I was able to score well. So I had decent scores, but I was this kid who was into gaming, into sports, and I didn't care about academics at all. And then when I went into my 11th grade, I realized that, hey, I can study. I'm good at studying as well. And then I obviously like my creative activities. So I decided to make lists and timelines and things that I have to go with, and like this fixed calendar, which cannot go wrong in the day. But if it does, it definitely annoys me till date. Uh, I have ADHD and I have this ultra focus stage where I can't think about anything else. I understand that. I am not. I am not very sure, like, deep and sure on how ADHD works. I haven't, like, had deep knowledge of it, but uh, I hope you figure something out and have create a balance. Now again, it's something which is a sensitive topic, so since I don't have entire knowledge about it, I don't want to comment on it. But I just hope you find that perfect balance that you want. So I don't know what it is, but, like, obviously, um it's better explained by a professional, or probably someone who's experienced that themselves. I haven't, so I definitely don't want to comment on it. Okay. Do we want to create another scene and learn how to switch scenes? I mean, we do have time. We can create a scene in like 10 minutes and create, like, learn how to switch scenes. So I will create a new scene. Let's name it start. So this will be my first scene now. Now, because that will be my first scene, there is one change that we need is when we restart the game, the build index will be 1 now. How that, like, that's something I know. That's something for beginners who will be confused and might mess up. So that's why if you haven't decided on your build index for the scene, just write the scene name. Simply do that. Now I'll add my start to the build settings, but move it before game. So start has the build index 0 now because this is going to be the first scene, and game has the build index 1. All right. So this is the order. Let's go to our start scene and create a menu. Uh, so in the main camera, currently a skybox is viewing. Now, since it's going to be a UI or a menu, I don't need a sky or I don't need a background. So I'll make it solid color. Let's keep the background a basic black. Inside UI, let's first add something called as a canvas. Click on okay, I renamed the canvas by chance. Canvas, go to the scene window and press F. Canvas F. This is how my canvas looks like. Now inside it, I want to add an image. So I will add a panel in UI. So this is a panel. Now again, it has like this sheer background and we have the transparency. Let's download an image and make it a background. Um Cars, game, background. Let's just find any random image right now. What you can do is the scene that you build, just take a screenshot of it and make it a background. I'll simply use this illustration at the moment. Save image as here, name it background. Now this is directly my folder for the game. So as soon as I open Unity, go to my assets folder, I'll find this background image. Now, like we did in the last stream when we were adding an image for the capsule, we had to change its setting to sprite 2D and UI because this is the type of texture for images that we use in Unity. So I'll go to the texture type, click sprite 2D and UI and apply it. Now, all we have to do is inside the panel, drag and drop. So we have this as the background image of our menu. Now, if you want to work with the transparency, let's just simply go to the panel. There is a transparent function, like the transparency. You want to make it clear, if you want to make it very transparent, if you want to make it translucent, it's on you. Now, another thing, since my background is black in color, it's a little dark. If I can do it white, I can add another tinted shade behind it. Let's make it blue and somewhere around it. So that's basically how things work. I've still kept it black because I want this dark theme that's going on. Now we will add a button. Go to UI, click on button. I'll click on this scale tool, increase the size of the button. Go to my text and we will make it overflow. Rename it as start, or let's just name it play. Currently the scale of the text increased when I increase the size, which makes the pixels Not that clear, so I'll simply add it again and just increase the size of the text to 40 and make it bold. And let's make it bold and italic. For the button, again, there is a background image. So if you want another background image, you can add that. I'm just keeping this as the background image, but I'll definitely change the color. So let's keep it more of a contrast. Add a red. If I want to pick the red from this track, I can directly do that. And it's kind of dull at the moment. Let's keep it white and just add make the text color to be that particular red. Again, I'm clicking on the drop, picking this red pixel shade, this one in specific. Okay, I think it looks good. So we have a button, and this button has a play option. Now I want, when I click on play, I enter into my game scene. So again, we will be creating a new script. We will go to canvas, add a new script, and we will name it UI manager, or you can name it scene changer, or you can name it anything you want. This is just a name convention that I use. So I made it UI manager to manage the UI for my game. I'll go to VS Code, locate the UI manager. Now again, since we are going to be using UI, I will add using Unity engine dot UI. Now we'll be changing scenes. So I'll also add using Unity engine dot scene management. Now we'll make a function called as public void button click. So on button click, what I want to do is scene manager dot load scene, the first scene that we have, which is our game. That's it. That's the code you need. We'll go back to our Unity and let it load for a second. Yep, I'll save the scene. Save. Now I'll go to canvas. We have the UI manager here. Let's go to the button option. So you see there's something called as on click. Now this is where we add that when a button is clicked, how do we want it to respond? So I will click on plus. Now I need to add an object with reference to which something would happen. So I have my script on my canvas, so I'll add that object. Now I'll have to select the function. So inside canvas, in the UI manager, there is a function called button click. So when the button is clicked, I'm asking it to invoke that particular function. Let's save it, play the game. This is how the game looks like. Let's press on play. It will take a second to load, and it started the game. So that's how you work with Unity UI, and that's how a game starts. I think my directional light is off, or probably the scene looked. You now, since there was a small lag within the play button and actually the scene loading, what you could have done is add a placeholder which says loading, or just a small animation for loading, and then that just gives the user a patience to wait for a second. Meanwhile the player loads. That's just something you do for a better user experience. And I think that's pretty much it for this set of streams. We have a full-fledged game with a menu ready. You can add an instructions panel and a lot of things with it. There are so many things that we can do with this game, but that's the basic structure of how a Unity game works like. Now, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. I'll be hanging around for the next couple of minutes because we still have half an hour left. We can do a chit chat or probably end the stream if you're tired. Anything would work for me. So I'll simply go to just making sure that folks have who are attending this stream. I see a lot of you. Making sure that you registered and checked in on this link so that you earn the points for attending this particular stream and you've checked in. What I'll do meanwhile is I'll go to my GitHub desktop and push the changes that we just made inside the game so that you all can view this game as well. So we have this. I'll just name this commit as Global Hack Week Final Stream and commit it. Feel free to ask any specific questions if you do. And otherwise, I'll go and have lunch. Thank you so much for joining and hanging around with this set of series. I hope you understood Unity. I hope you'll be building a fun game, and I'm excited to see what you all do. Let me just play some music in the background, hoping that it wouldn't lag like it does when I do that with Unity. Thank you so much, Shreyansh. I think I pronounced your name right. Thanks, Shreyansh. Yeah, definitely I will. And I'll be seeing you folks tonight for people who are from IST or APAC region. For people who are from the other region, it might be the next day for you. But I'll be popping in at the Global Hack Week stream once again very, very soon. Okay, let me just stop my screen share so that it helps. Alright, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for joining, folks. I hope you had a great time and I hope you learned something fun. And I hope you'll have a great time in the rest Global Hack Week series as well. Bye!